King's College Budo is a prestigious mixed residential secondary school located 14 kilometers from Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. Founded in 1906, it is one of the oldest schools in Africa. A group of old boys and girls from the class of 87 and 90 formed a WhatsApp group initially to stay in touch.
The friendships that we made in Budo are friendships that last forever. High school friends are very tight friends. These are people that you got to know way before you became anyone, way before you became what you were in your profession. We had a group that we called the KCB class of 87 and 90. 87 meaning the year in which we did O-level, and 90 is the year in which we did A-level. It's a group that has quite a number of people. It's all over the world, people in the US, in the UK, in Uganda. We have people in Denmark, so it's just an amazing opportunity to be a part of this.
Well, thank God for modern technology and WhatsApp. We're able to keep in touch on a daily basis and track what's going on and to encourage each other.
If you don't have a common goal, if you're in a group, if you don't have a common goal, then people are going to fall apart. Everyone needs to identify with a goal. Where are we heading with this? Are we just talking, or we want to do something?
There's a time I came here and I realized as I was entering the gate that the gate that I was entering does not befit the image of Budo. When you're outside there and you hear about King's College Budo, the gate could not befit the name King's College Budo.
You never have a second chance to make first impressions. So the gate has been changing with time, and to fit the age and create an impression of where you are going. At one time, it was just a pipe swinging up and down.
A school like King's College Budo to have a gate as small as the one we previously had was a bit embarrassing, to be quite honest.
I just felt like we need a new face of Budo, and I came up with a number of designs, not only for the gate, but I came out with the design of the gate, and I came out with the design of some other buildings inside. I felt that this was a chance to bring across something that I've always been having in my mind. We chose to use ornamented iron bars which are carved, and if you look at that curve, the shape of the curve itself somehow gives you a feeling of the traditional palace of the king, the real house itself. I sold it to the forum, and I'm glad that people on the forum caught the idea.
When I first heard about this project, I thought this is about time. Budo have done a lot for us. It's what has made most of us what we are, but it was time for us to give back.
Within 2 weeks, we had organized a visit to the school.
On 12th January, 8 members of the 87-90 class visited King's College Budo to assess the task and meet with the headmaster.
It was an issue of them bringing money, and then we implement. And thank God they also bought the artistic impression, and the architect was part of the team, so it all blended very well. It was, as it were, a divine intervention.
I hadn't been here for 25 years, so one thing I wanted to do was just come in and see what's going on. And it was a memorial trip, really, lots of memories. And talking to the headmaster was very, very supportive.
They toured the school with special emphasis on the site for the new gate and discussed several issues to do with how the new gate could be built. By the end of the visit, a committee had been set up with a task to oversee the raising of funds and execution of the project. It was nicknamed Abageti. The project would be spread out over 6 months, with 4 months set aside for mobilization and 2 months for the execution.
And then the other aspect was to ensure transparency, so that whatever money was coming to the coffers, then there was clear communication as to who has contributed.
Each member of the year was expected to contribute 1 million Uganda shillings, and in return, they would be recognized on a plaque to be installed at the gate.
This was a way of getting us to contribute to make sure that the gate is built. And as the Emperor Napoleon said, men are led by toys. If the recognition is what can urge someone to come and contribute for the betterment of the school, so much the better.
We started the project right away, whereby whatever money we are getting was actually being put to use, in which case that helped the members to see that there's something going on and being worked on.
News soon broke that the Kabaka of Buganda would be celebrating his 61st birthday at King's College Budo. He would commission the gate as part of the celebrations. Celebrations were slated for April the 13th. A meeting was held by the Gate team, at the end of which they had collected their own contributions. The gate project had to be completed in 60 days. Bulldozers moved in and started leveling the site.
We had very little money by the time the grading and the initial structure was started. I think had collected only about from 8 people, about 8 or 5 people. Then we decided to start.
A groundbreaking ceremony, complete with refreshments a few days later, marked the official start of the project. It was a race against time, and it became a big challenge to collect funds so that the work could continue non-stop. Members in the diaspora were also sending their contributions, and the gate began to take shape.
What we did, first and foremost, was make sure that the project had proper plans and proper budgets, so that by the time we communicated to start collecting all of the money, we had a clear budget and an impression of what was supposed to be done.
We chose to micromanage the project because normally when you enter a contract, you want to commit the amount of money you are going to give to the contractor and the amount of time that the contractor is supposed to use to execute the project. Now, we were in a situation where we did not have enough money and money kept on trickling in. With micromanagement, we could get into the contract ourselves and drive certain aspects of the work. Given the fact that we had a specific deadline to deliver the project, micromanagement had the element of flexibility. We would choose to kind of inspire people to work very fast, which is not possible with a contract, what we call a supply and fix contract.
The double gate itself was fabricated in a workshop in Luzira.
We were designing the details of the gate. All of us found ourselves at the craftsman, the guy the welder. On different days, we used to meet there. We sat there. There are days we spent the whole day in a workshop to perfect the angles, the corners in the gate. The gate seems simple when complete, but the process of getting it to where it is now is a process that we took personally. It took time. It wasn't just the money, but the time in detail.
The team provided the materials themselves and took over supervision to ensure the work was done at the proper quality.
Under normal circumstances, for example, you may not think of testing pavers to see whether you have the right strength in the pavers. So we chose about 3 sets of pavers from 3 different suppliers. We were looking for strengths of minimum of 40 MPa, and that aspect in itself wouldn't have been possible. For example, or it would have been difficult to execute if we were following a conventional contract.
In spite of the mobilization efforts, the contributions began to dry up.
Collecting 85 million within 2 months, and these are 2 months which are difficult months in the year because we are looking at February and March. These are times when people are going back to school, people are taking back their children to school, so it's not a very easy time for most of the people.
Some members of the forum stepped up. Among others, John Dumba Ntwatwa doubled his contribution. Peter Mukiza came through with another 5 million shillings 5 times the initial contribution he had made.
A lot of people wait for prompting for good causes. I think I'm one of those people who sees things differently. If I feel that my heart is in the right place for a particular project, and for me education is something that I hold highly. So once this came up, even if nobody stepped up directly to me to make an extra contribution, I was more than happy to close that gap in my own small ways.
A few Budonians from another year who had expressed interest were allowed to contribute.
My brother and 3 of his friends wanted to contribute to this project. They did not belong to this year. They badly wanted to contribute. So eventually I talked to the organizers here and we agreed. Obviously, their contribution was slightly bigger than ours. Ultimately, the beneficiary of this project is King's College Budo.
Members also honored colleagues who had passed on by contributing on their behalf.
These were friends of ours. We shared a lot, and we know that if they were here today, they would definitely have been a part of this. Just because they're not here, we say, you know what, this is an opportunity for us to remember some of these people. I've had calls from their family, friends and family who are saying it was good that you guys remembered our brother, our sister, our uncle. And so it is, and even for us, because now these are names you can never ever forget.
The late nights and constant pressure began to pay off. The group had opted for a solar system, and with a few days to go, the lights were switched on.
I think we thought of the solar system mainly because of sustainability. I've seen bills. In our discussions we had with the headmaster, we realized that they have yaka. It's expensive in a lump sum, but in the longer term, you technically save money.
The red lion was installed deep into the night.
We had put our name on the side walls and we didn't have the lion there prominently put. And Dan was very flexible. As soon as I said, look, let's take that space. Let's put a big red lion so that when someone comes up to the building, the first thing they see is this lion. And they see the name King's College. And then they get the feeling, okay, I'm eventually at King's College. This is what it's all about. And he quickly changed the plans. I think he had something there to put there in mind. And that's how come we put the red lion there.
The plug with the contributors' names on it had been laser cut in Dubai. It was stuck at the Dubai airport 36 hours before the gate would be commissioned. But it eventually turned up and it was installed. A video surveillance system was put in and switched on. The gardens were planted with 24 hours to go. It looked like the deadline would be met. Then, a truck ran into the gate and damaged it.
I think I received a call from Godfrey. She will be telling me that the gate had been knocked. The first thing I asked was to send me a WhatsApp picture to see the damage. Fortunately, when I saw the knocked gate, the first thing that came to my mind that since we had used very quality material, I believe we could hammer the gate back into shape.
The gate was pulled off its hinges and fabrication equipment was rushed to the site. The race to repair it began.
Fortunately, we got a hands-on person and Godfrey was on site, and I think we were able to hit it back into shape.
On the morning of 13th April 2016, members of the class of 87 and 90 met up at the new gate to welcome Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II. It was the first time most of them had met in over 10 years, and there was a lot of catching up to do before the Kabaka arrived. 10:40 a.m., His Majesty Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II arrived. He was met by the Katikiro Wechitibwa Charles Peter Mayiga, the headmaster Mr. Patrick Bakamale, and others. The Kabaka commissioned the gate by unveiling the plaque. He thanked them for the hard work and commitment that went into transforming that part of the legendary school.
It is an honor to host the Kabaka. It went so well. I doubt whether there has been a birthday celebrations as peaceful, as grand, as honorable as we had at King's College Budo. He's also thanking us many times. He remembers with the great memories that day.
The Kabaka is a Budonian, and we are very glad that we have a royal touch on what would normally have been maybe just another gate, however good looking it is.
The new gate has improved the security of the students with new security features like cameras and floodlighting. There's also improved general cleanliness that comes with a paved surface. On busy days, there is better traffic flow facilitated by an entrance and an exit. The gate also provides an enhanced look, giving the school a new first impression. The gate comes at a time when the school has just unveiled a new office block, a half-Olympic-sized swimming pool, a golf driving range, and many others.
So the ball is in everybody's court now. We've thrown a huge gauntlet to all the other members of the King's College Budo previous years, the alumnus, and we hope you will get to do something similar to this.
Budo has given us a great platform on which we've built our lives, we've built our careers, and it was a great opportunity for us to give back.
It is very funny that this is a brand new gate. That photo that I took in front of this gate was a scary one because I didn't know what I was going to tell my parents, that I'd been suspended just before my A-levels. But maybe I'd like to be suspended in front of a new gate like this one. I don't know.
Everything we hoped that it would be, it actually is. A lot of people are taking photos there now. It's going to be a historic place, and the image is going to last forever.
We're very grateful to everybody who contributed and all those who trusted that we lead the team that did the job. I think it will stay as a piece of art, and it will give the school a presence I didn't have before.
Okay, the first time when I negotiated that corner and I saw this building complete, it overwhelmed me. And I must say I feel honored and extremely humbled that I'm the architect behind this building.
We would like to thank the class of 87 and 90 for that initiative. It is an initiative which is unprecedented, which was original and was able to achieve what we set out to do. They finished the gate with the commitment and with competence.